Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Ashton Jackson, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking news about how the Dallas Cowboys signed Mike Zimmer as their defensive coordinator, which was my candidate. I did want the Dallas Cowboys to pick him up, and if it was down to Ron Rivera or him. So this wasn't my, my initial pick, but this was my pick out of either Ron Rivera or him. So before we get into the video, I appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content, man. Boom. I already talked about Mike Zimmer, and I talked about the potential defensive coordinator candidates about basically, I think at the time of this recording, about 4 or 5 days ago. So make sure you guys go check out my last video and go hear my initial thoughts about the defensive coordinator job and things of that nature. But I kind of expected this hire, and the reason why I mainly expected this hire is because Zimmer has been with the Dallas Cowboys before. He's been with the Dallas Cowboys from 1994 to 2006. He left in 2007 to have a brief stint in Atlanta, and then he spent some time in Cincinnati, where, if you remember those Cincinnati teams with Marvin Lewis as their head coach and Hugh Jackson, and that defensive, not that defensive, but that coaching set that they had, where they had Andy Dalton, AJ Green, they had that duo going on in Mohamed Sanu, Jermaine Gresham, if you guys remember him, that tight end, he was really good too. Geno Atkins, So there's a lot of bright spots with having Mike Zimmer. He's a no-nonsense coach. I'm going to have a clip showing about.
And get it contained, okay? I told you this fucking quarterback runs. Keep him in the fucking pocket. You got me? You better quit bullshitting around. I'm not having this bullshit. Better get your minds right, or I'll get them right for you.
Just a brief little bit about how he's going to be and how he's going to talk to some of our defensive players. And I am making this time of the recording on Thursday, where D-Law said that asinine statement about how the reason why we got bounced out in the playoffs was because we were tired. I don't think that's going to fly with Zimmer. And I don't think that we're going to get out-schemed by Shanahan coaches. They said that Zimmer has a pretty good track record against them. And I figure he would, because a lot of the old defensive coordinators that have been in the league for a very long time, those offenses don't really surprise them. And then you also got to think about Zimmer was a solid head coach for the Minnesota Vikings from 2014 to 2021. And I believe from 14 all the way to 2019, he would have anywhere from top 5 to top 10 defensive units. And I also did say that it didn't matter if we brought in Ron Rivera, Rex Ryan. If I didn't even think about Rex Ryan, but if he was in here, or Vrabel, or Zim, any of those guys that we brought in, those old school defensive coordinators, we were definitely going to get us a good linebacker. And him being able to have Eric Kendricks out in Minnesota, drafting and developing him having a solid pass rusher in Danielle Hunter, Harrison Smith, a really great safety, Anthony Barr in his prime. So I really do think that we're going to get the most out of our defensive players, and Mike Zimmer does a great job of maximizing his defensive players, and I think that we're going to have a solid year defensively. I don't know if we're still going to be the turnover-happy team where we're getting a lot of pick sixes and things of that nature. Hopefully we still do, but I'm more of in the mindset that if we are in the middle, or we just rank outside of the top 10, like maybe 11th or 12th ranked in the turnovers, but if we're getting consistent 3 and outs, because I don't want us to be that defense where we're big player bust, where if we're not getting pick sixes, scooping scores and all this other stuff, that we're just a middle of the road defense, and any single time that we play a competent quarterback or a competent scheme, we're just gonna get picked apart and everything of that nature. I don't want that to happen. And I think Zimmer he's overqualified for the job. I think he'll be able to for sure mess up any of the young quarterbacks in the league, because he does a lot of stuff at snap motion, or not at snap motion, my bad. I mean, at snap coverages, as soon as the ball snap, pre-snap it might look like cover 3, post-snap it might be cover 2, it might be cover 1, cover 4, whatever the case might be. He does a lot of great things like that. If you guys want more of a breakdown of what Mike Zimmer does, go check out Skywalker Steals. I'm going to post the thumbnail right here, but he had a really great breakdown on talking about what he does, and he provided the film and the context as well, showing graphs and everything like that. So he did a really great job breaking that down. And Mike Zimmer is going to be a really great defensive coordinator, I believe, here. Like I said, all that soft stuff that seems to linger around in the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think that's going to happen defensively. I don't think that's going to happen where we're going to be an undisciplined football team on the defensive side of the football. Hopefully that can get fixed. Hopefully Mike Zimmer can get the most out of Mozzie Smith, since we did select him in the 24th pick in last year's, not 24th, but the 25th pick in last year's draft. Hopefully DeMarvin Overshown can be somebody like a Anthony Barr. They're both the same height and 6'4", 6'5" type linebackers. Hopefully this offseason Peanut Butter does DeMarvin Overshown well, and he bulks up in the offseason. He's already like 220, 230, I think. But most of that's because of his height. If he, adds some protein to himself and adds some muscle and some weight to him, I think he can be anywhere from 235, 240 at the most he can probably get. And I think that he can be a really impactful linebacker. And I want him to add healthy weight, so that's why he's able to move and still be as fast as he was when he was at 225, 230. Trayvon Diggs is going to be Trayvon Diggs. I don't think too many of those guys are going to really change. We have versatile corners. I don't think we just have man coverage corners or zone coverage corners. I think we can do it. We just have to have the right scheme in place to do it. And again, we're not going to be running around with safeties at linebacker. We're going to have really good defensive lines, which we already do, but I think we're probably going to add a pick in this year's draft to probably the defensive line. Hopefully, maybe we go out in free agency because we have a new defensive coordinator. We go out and get some of the guys that he seems fit and that can go and help us win big games. But my thoughts on Mike Zimmer, man, and I believe, like I already said, the pick is going to, or him, selecting him is going to be fine. I think some of our guys, they need some of this talk, I think a lot of guys on this team are not disciplined just yet, and I think that they're going to get it with him, and I think a lot of guys are going to benefit from this. I think D-Law is going to benefit. I think any linebacker that we select in the draft or the linebackers we have on this roster now are going to benefit. I think Mozzie Smith is definitely going to benefit from this. I think Chauncey Golston is going to be a really good player with him. I think Osa is going to be an even better player. I understand that sometimes Osa, he has a really great start to the year, that entire defensive line. We have a really great start to the year. We'll be like week 8, week 9. We'll have about like 20 to 35 sacks just in the first 8 to 10 games. And then we fizzle out during the back half of the season. Hopefully that Mike Zimmer can fix that as well. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.